this is where you need to pause, because when you lay it out clearly, the pattern is impossible to ignore any longer. Over the past few weeks, Donald Trump has issued multiple escalating deadlines towards Iran, each one tightening the window, each one signaling that something imminent was about to happen. And yet every single time the clock ran out, nothing happened. Let's break down this timeline. March 21st, a 48-hour ultimatum was given. March 23rd, that was extended 5 more days. March 26th, extended again to April 6th, and then April 6th arrives. The moment global attention locks in, the moment markets, governments, and media all aligned on a single point in time, and it gets pushed again. In only hours, something shifted. We went from "a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again," said publicly by the United States president directly. With hours left on the clock, I'm going to repeat that. We went from "a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again." And then the whole world bracing for impact, a ceasefire was agreed upon. From the language of total destruction to de-escalation in a matter of hours. And while most people process that as relief or confusion or just another headline moving too fast to fully absorb, the market processed it very differently. Throughout this entire sequence, one thing has remained consistent. Every deadline, oil spikes. Every extension, oil pulls back. Every escalation expands volatility further than the last move. Clean, repeatable, and now reinforced under the most extreme conditions. This isn't geopolitics. This is something far more dangerous happening that no one has even said. This is influence being traded in real time. I need you to understand what's happening. The most powerful man on earth is moving global oil prices with only one single social media post. Every spike costs you money at the pump. Every dip makes someone on Wall Street a fortune. Traders aren't watching the war, they're watching his phone. One post, oil moves 10%, billions change hands, and it will happen again. Either he finally strikes and oil explodes higher, or he extends it again. And if he extends it again, the pattern repeats. Because at this level, markets are no longer reacting to events, they're reacting to expectation, to timing, to behavior, to influence itself. And once you see that clearly, you realize this is no longer volatility. This is structure. And this is where it goes deeper, because influence is no longer a secondary force sitting on top of markets. It has become the mechanism through which markets move. What you're watching here is the compression of narrative, timing, and authority into a single point of impact that could reprice a global commodity in seconds without a single barrel of oil actually moving. That's the shift. We've started seeing more often markets moving on confirmation. Right now, they're moving on suggestion, on tone, on perceived intent, on who is speaking and how seriously that signal is being taken by capital that is programmed to act before clarity ever arrives. Influence becomes a leading indicator, not a tailing one, and the faster it is recognized, the more valuable it becomes. And when that influence is concentrated in the hands of the most powerful man in the world, amplified now through a direct, unfiltered channel, it creates a feedback loop that markets can't ignore. A statement introduced fear. Fear drives that positioning. Positioning drives price, and price reinforces the validity of that signal, which then sets up the next move before the previous one has even settled. That's why the pattern holds, not because the outcome is unknown, but because the behavior is. And once influence is consistently monetized at this scale, it stops being noise and it starts becoming infrastructure. It becomes embedded in how markets price risk, how capital allocates, and how volatility is created and harvested. It means that price is no longer anchored to physical reality in the way most people understand it, but to the expectation of how reality might be framed in the next moment. So while it looks like a geopolitical sequence on the surface, what you're actually watching underneath is the evolution of modern markets into something far more reflexive, far more responsive to perception, and far more dependent on who controls the narrative in real time. And if that doesn't change how you see risk, how you ask about risk management, timing, and opportunity, you're still looking at the old system.